Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Doc Who Pod. I'm Josh, and with me for the first time is not JP. He's not involved in this new series that we're doing, and instead, special guest or co-host for this series, I suppose. We can call you a co-host for this series, Bradley Fuller.
Have to be. Yeah, thank you. I have to be a co-host. It's official. This is the first time we're doing a podcast with just me and you. No JP, but it's New Who, and I'm a co-host. Let's go.
It's New Who, and fuck me is Doctor Who back, baby.
New Who.
Right, we've got fucking David Tennant back as the Doctor. Like, we've got this has been like 2 years in the coming. We're finally here. I can't believe that it went past.
Yeah, it fully must be. I mean, I can't remember the last when Jodie Whittaker's last episode aired, but yeah, that's how long we've been waiting. We knew David Tennant was coming, and he's finally back. I'm buzzing.
He's finally back. Before we jump into the episode, this has just sprung to mind. I thought it was going to be the three specials were going to be 3 parts. And I know they're technically 3 parts because it sort of leads into it, but it looks like it's going to be a completely separate adventure next week, right? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting a 3-part sort of little mini series as well. But then if you think back to the specials that David Tennant did before he ended, they were, well, technically 4 specials, but they weren't linked at all apart from the last 2 parts, which were the main story. So I guess it's following that kind of thing, but I'm kind of expecting, obviously now that we've seen the Star Beast, I'm expecting the next 2 to very much be a part 1 and part 2 kind of thing. I'm expecting them to be linked to Neil Patrick Harris and the Toymaker and that to be the full story, because it needs to be. They're only an hour long, so there needs to be a good in-depth story to make it a good anniversary special, I think.
Yeah, for sure. That was the other thing as well. No sign of Neil Patrick Harris whatsoever. Like, the marketing completely. Now, I thought he was going to be the big bad of these 3 episodes, and it was going to be like, but yeah, just no sign of Neil Patrick Harris whatsoever. Instead, we've got Meet the Veep. I don't know. This was an hour long.
The what?
What is it? Meet the Veep, in it?
Meet the Beep.
What's happening? What's happening? It's Meet the Veep, innit?
Beep the Meep. Yeah, that's it. Beep the Meep.
Beep the Meep. I don't fucking know. It's probably worth noting. I've only seen this once yesterday. You've seen it twice already, right?
Yeah, I've watched it once on the car home. I was like 5 minutes behind, so I wasn't watching it live, which is a bit gutting. So I kind of felt, and I couldn't really hear it very well, so I kind of felt like I had to rewatch it. I wanted to anyway because I was buzzing by it. I nearly rewatched it again this morning, but didn't. But I actually watched Doctor Who Unleashed instead, which is the special on this episode.
Okay.
So got a bit of background info from that, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I was expecting to see the Toymaker in some sort of form. Whether we've heard about him in this special, I don't know. From something that I've seen elsewhere, I think maybe not, because there's a part, I'm very skipping ahead, but there's a part when towards the end of this special where the Meep says about the boss.
Yes,
Patrick Harris, but that remains to be seen. But
yeah, it says something like they're very interested in 2-hearted creatures or something, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, which kind of then made me think the Master, but
interesting. Yeah, God, overall thoughts on the episode, Brad?
Overall, I have to say I loved it because, the Doctor and Donna are back. It felt like slipping back into an old pair of slippers back in 2008, 2009. It was a good all-round Doctor Who adventure with the Doctor and Donna. The only thing I think it lacked a wow factor for me. It wasn't an anniversary special for me. It was just a normal Doctor Who episode. It had to deal with the whole Dr. Donna situation. We'll discuss that a bit more. But
fucking hell, yeah, we will.
Yeah, not the best way I think they could have dealt with it, but yeah, I think it had to be done. This was a special that had to be made to explain that whole situation, and I think they could have done it better, but I still think it was very good because it's the Doctor and Donna back.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Liked it a lot, didn't love it. It was, like you said, it wasn't an anniversary episode. It was a sort of, if it had come out in a series, you'd be like, oh yeah, that was an all right episode, and then you'd probably forget about it quite quickly after. Yeah, obviously it had to deal with the whole Dr. Donna thing. And again, I was expecting that to be more drawn out. I was expecting that to be, answered over the 3 specials. So I was very surprised that it wrapped it up in episode 1.
What did you think about the brand new Doctor Who intro that came in?
Was it rushed? Was it a shortened down version?
What? See, this is the thing. I think looking back to the good old days, you know, like the intro to David Tennant's 10th Doctor episodes, they did feel a lot longer. But at the same time, you then look at Jodie's ones. Jodie's ones were very short as well, I thought.
Yeah.
They were, you know, the music wasn't quite on it. That I didn't like the visuals in it either. Coming back to this one, I think it felt slightly longer than Jodie's, but still a bit too short. But the music's back, man. Murray Gold, loving it.
Music's
the visuals
okay.
are unreal. The TARDIS is sliding.
Okay, music is good, to be fair. The music is good. It's not 2008 good, but it is still good. I think I like the effect of the vortex. I don't think I prefer it over 2008, but I do think it's a nice modern uptake. I think
I agree.
The logo looks fucking ridiculous. I do not think it fits in this intro whatsoever. I was watching one guy talk about it, and he was like, he's like an effects guy, and he was like, it's not affected by any of the light coming from the vortex. He says it's not got the same motion blur effect as the vortex, so it looks jagged, it looks slapped on. And he was saying the BBC logo above it is too big as well. And I'm all for the BBC logo because it's a BBC show and it will never be Disney. But yeah, I don't know if it didn't look right to me. And I think it was too quick. I think it was too short. I want the days when it's like a 30-second long intro of the TARDIS traveling through it. I want to try skipping through it and missing and then having to rewind and go back and missing and go back and go back, because those were the days. Do you know what I mean?
See, okay, that's a question for you then. How long do you reckon the intro is?
This intro, I would say, is about 20 seconds, but I think the intro back in the day must have been like 30, 40 seconds.
Okay, that's interesting, because obviously I've done the edit for the TikTok video, so I've edited it and I know how long that was, and that was 30 seconds. And that was pretty much start to finish. So that whole intro is basically 30 seconds.
Interesting.
But I do still feel like it's a bit rushed. I love the visuals of the TARDIS gliding through, and then when the bit where the TARDIS is spinning and coming down through the names. But I do feel like the name bit was a bit rushed, like the David Tennant, Catherine Tate. That felt a bit quick to me. But yeah, it's just a little bit too short for me. I think other than that, it's perfect. But again, the logo I agree with. It's too cartoony. Doesn't quite fit in with it. But I do like the logo on its own, just not in this intro.
Agreed. I just think you need to add some shadow or something over it. It doesn't feel like it's there. And I know it's obviously not, it's all CGI and everything, but just blend it in a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels a bit too bright and too, just a bit too like stand out, if anything. It needs to blend in more and look a bit more related. Yeah.
And the end credits, I've said this to you over text, the end credits, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know if it was just the speaker I was using or what, but all I could hear over it was like, I'm not even joking. Can you please go back and rewatch the end credits and see if you think the same thing?
Yeah, no, trust me, I have. I've because we've had, like I said, we've had comments on that on the TikTok video, and I've gone back and listened to it, and it is literally someone just heavy breathing going. It's like, what the hell? Like, what is going on there?
It's so strange because it's not on the intro; it's just on the outro. I don't. What happened there, Murray Gold? You've dropped the ball.
I mean, the first 5 seconds of it makes me think it's accidental. But then as you hear it more, you think it is just a really weird addition to the actual music. And I can't decide what's going on.
It's so strange. And I genuinely thought I was going crazy because I obviously messaged you yesterday morning or whenever I'd watched it. You're like, what are you talking about? No, it doesn't. I'm like, no, it does. It really does.
Oh, well, yeah, because when you said that, I thought you meant the video that I'd made for TikTok. I thought you thought there was background noise to it. And I went, I've done so many videos like this. I know it doesn't hear my background noise myself. I thought, was I breathing really heavily when I recorded it or something? Like, what have I done?
But if you do listen, it is faintly in your video. It's just not as prominent for some reason.
Yeah.
So it is in the intro. Yeah, but mad, what an odd design choice.
Yeah, very strange. The first time Murray Gold has ever dropped the ball, to be fair.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was very good hearing all the old themes and everything back throughout the episode, to be fair.
Yeah,
Let's talk the main point of contention I think that this episode has. What did you think of the
yeah.
Dr. Donna solution?
It dealt with it, but I'm the same as you. I expected it to be something for the whole three specials, and obviously, I don't know what's going to come in the next three specials. I don't know how involved Donna's going to be in the whole story, but I kind of felt like at the time when it happened, and or the Doctor had thought Donna had died. I thought that was actually a pretty good conclusion. I felt like that should have happened.
Right. I agree with you, but not
Yeah,
in this situation. I thought the ending of this, that bit where they're in that little section, I thought was crap, if I'm being totally honest with you. I thought it was just
yeah.
it's just David Tennant running around pressing random buttons. So it wasn't like any intelligence was used or anything. And then what spaceship have we ever known that just has a glass wall come down the middle to separate them? Like,
Yeah, it
come
was too
on.
convenient, wasn't it? It was too convenient for them to be specifically separated 50-50 on a spaceship, and the need for Donna's. That's what I didn't get as well, because he felt like he had to bring the Dr. Donna back for her to be able to understand it, but all she did was press buttons, like just tell her what
Yeah.
buttons to press.
And it's a
She didn't
clear
need to have
wall as
that Time
well.
Lord memory back.
No, I agree. Just point at them and say, if it was like a black wall or something that dropped down, you couldn't see through it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe he jumped very quickly to that conclusion that, oh shit, I need to bring the Dr. Donna back. Like, no, you literally, I think he tells her to press some buttons and she does
Yeah,
it.
he says like the blue
And then,
buttons, flip them
yeah,
down.
and then he's like, presumably in his head, he's just like, "Nah, this is too fucking slow. I need to speed this up. I've got somewhere to be." So he's like, "No,
so,
Dr.
so what
Donna."
so what do we do to get the Dr. Donna back? Oh, let's do a Marvel-esque Winter Soldier thing and say random words to bring her memory back to life. I
Yeah,
wasn't a fan of that either.
no, well, the whole point is if she remembers, she would die. But now it's not if she remembers, it's if you say these ridiculous words. I didn't
Yeah,
get it.
that's the thing as well, because it was like, oh, originally it was like it was always said that if she remembers him, she will die. But
Yeah.
then even the Doctor says, I can't ever see her again. But that's wrong, because he can see her again without her remembering.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's wrong. And then she doesn't remember. She then, when she actually goes to run off with her family and then she locks them out, she calls him Doctor. I'm pretty sure she only calls him Doctor because she hears the woman in the wheelchair say Doctor. But then Sylvia's like, oh, she called him Doctor. She must remember. So it's sort of like, oh, she's remembered him, but now we've got to say some random words to bring her memory back. Like,
Yeah, agreed. Thought that was
it was very
totally
Disney.
nonsense. Yeah, it was very Disney. Yeah, you're right, actually. It was very, very Disney. And on the same point, I was very, very nervous throughout this episode. Listen, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm all for representation. I have nothing wrong with any of the LGBTQ plus community, whatever it is. But throughout this episode, I thought all of the references to Rose were very on the nose. I thought, oh, is this woke for the sake of being woke? However, I was corrected because I think the way they tied it into the Dr. Donna, I thought that was actually genuinely brilliant. I thought the whole binary thing, the whole she's part-time Lord, so she doesn't associate with gender. I thought that was genuinely really very good. So thought it was a little bit too woke, but I was totally proven incorrect. I thought it was brilliant for the story. I thought it absolutely made all the sense. I thought that wrap up was very nice. Sharing it with sharing the Dr. Donna, it's been passed on genetically. Brilliant. That makes sense. That's why she has this identity crisis. That's what the episode, they called it an identity crisis, the meta crisis Doctor. So perfect. It makes so much sense. It's like it was planned from the very beginning, whether it was or wasn't. However,
I agree.
They should have just left it as, because it's been inherited, it's now not going to kill her. The bit when they say, oh, we're women, we know how to let things go. You're a man, you're the Doctor, you didn't think of this. Absolute wank. Total bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you, to be fair. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the whole situation. And also going back to earlier on in the episode when, and this is actually something that came out of Doctor Who Unleashed, when the Doctor gets to the street Donna and Rose are walking down the street and the boys cycle past.
Yes,
make a comment about her being Jason
or something,
her male name. And they talk about that scene in Doctor Who Unleashed, and the actress who plays Rose actually says it gave her PTSD from her childhood from bullying, and
Oh, for being
I
dead
just felt
named,
like
yeah.
that. And Russell T Davies turned around and went, "Oh well, hopefully like that. Hopefully that makes it people sit at home and look at that and say, oh, maybe I shouldn't make those comments or that." But I kind of feel like the fact you've shown that, if anything, it's going to make you know how kids' minds work. People bully because they see things. I don't think that's helped. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure they've really dealt with it in the best way. But at the end of the day, you know, she's involved in the episode. She would have had some input into it. So you know, they know better than us probably of what works and what doesn't. But yeah, and then when they get in and they're talking to the Meep and the whole pronoun thing, I don't think that was really needed either, to be honest.
Yeah, I get it because it's an alien species. What like we're humans, we're the only ones that identify between gender. So I get it. Maybe they don't. Like the doctor is male, female. So again, it's a little bit
I
on the nose,
agree.
but I think it tied in with the plot, and I think you had to make it on the nose for it to be relevant. Otherwise, you're not foreshadowing it enough. Because genuinely, if I looked at Yasmin, what's her name, Yasmin Fenny or something, right?
Yes, Vinny, yeah.
Yasmin, I probably wouldn't know she was a
Mm,
transsexual. So I think you
mm.
do have to highlight it throughout the episode for it to be relevant. Otherwise, it's it's not a plot thread. It's just dropped in at the end. I also think I'd love to talk. I'd love to hear the opinion of a trans person on this because they. What always baffles me with things like this is they've given her a reason for why she identifies as trans because she's
Yep,
got this Dr. Donna in her. What does
yep.
that mean for, you know, real life? Are we saying to people nowadays, like, does that message come across as you, real life people, you don't have a reason to be trans? You've like, yours is inexcusable because you're not
It's a
got this
choice at
mental
the end of
crisis.
the day. Like, shouldn't
I
have to be a
think
reason. There shouldn't need to be a reason.
exactly. That,
And
yeah,
I
that's
saw a
exactly what I'm trying to
video.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a quick TikTok video actually of a trans person discussing this, and they weren't really happy with the way it's been dealt with in the episode either. I don't think. So yeah, I think he's going to have a bit of backlash for Russell, but we'll see how he does that. And the whole going back to the whole pronoun situation with the meep, I get that, and but if that's the case, one, why has it never been done before? And two,
Yeah.
is it now going to be done in every single episode every time they meet an alien?
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to, really, don't you? If you do it once, you need to do it every time. Otherwise, you're going to say, "Oh, well, he's gender assuming every other alien that comes up."
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
quite. Yeah.
it
Unless every
felt a
alien
bit
is
just
now they,
forced.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
we'll see what happens with that, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's really my biggest issue. Like, I thought they should have just killed her off. I thought that would have been the perfect ending. And then obviously the trans thing. But you mentioned Meet the Veep or whatever the name is. I will rewatch it. I promise.
Beat the
What
meat.
did you think? What did you think of that alien?
I got to admit, I mean, I've obviously a bit of background on it. It's an old Doctor Who magazine comic that's been like brought to life, and I've never actually read it, so I didn't know what to. And I'm quite glad I didn't read it because I didn't know what to expect. I definitely didn't expect Beat the Meat to be the villain because you know every time you've seen it, it's a cute, cuddy lily little alien, and you just think that it's trying to get home, and then it turns into this evil villain. And I've got to admit, Miriam Margolyes' voice in that is just absolutely brilliant casting. I think she's
Yeah.
brilliant. I
Yeah.
don't think it's the best villain. It's not really got a great story, I don't think. But I thought the actual villain itself was brilliantly made and brilliantly voiced. What
Yeah,
about
no,
you?
it looks very cool. It sounds very cool. I didn't see the twist coming, but Laura, I was watching it with Laura, and when they got into the taxi, she was like, "Oh, convenient that there's no bullet marks or anything on that taxi." I went, "Oh yeah, it's probably just
Yeah.
BBC budget. I'm sure about it." And then they pull in, and the doctor's like, "There's no scorch marks on this taxi." I'm like, "What's fucking going on here? Is she going to ruin Doctor Who for me? I'm never watching it again with her." So she kind of called it, which I thought was quite sick. Um, yeah, I thought I do love the bit where it goes from cute and adorable and then her eyes drop and she's suddenly evil and angry. I thought that was pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, that little transition, and she's like, "Oh, to hell with this Exhibit C," and then shoots them. Yeah, I thought that was pretty brilliant. To be fair,
um, what did you think of that courtroom scene down in the car park?
it was I was a bit taken aback. Like, I was a bit of a surprise. Like, didn't really know what was going on at first, but I've actually seen it was good, and I've seen after that it's actually been done already in a third Doctor story.
Okay. Okay.
He does the same thing. He puts that same wig on and does the same sort of thing. So
Oh,
that's a
right.
nice little
That
throwback, actually. Yeah, quite like that.
Shadow Proclamation reference in there as well. I love that. I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
10
love
years old
that.
again. I got that reference.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've not heard of the Shadow Proclamation in God knows how long, but yeah,
Yeah.
lovely that was back. Yeah, but I don't think we saw enough of those Wrath Warriors, to be fair. I do hope they bring them back. And I saw a thing as well, and I agree with it. It kind of gave you sort of Shadoom vibes, but sort of good Shadoom vibes.
Yeah, well,
Like they're not evil
yeah. It's
aliens.
like the RSPCA compared to the Jadoon's police. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, bang on.
But yeah, no, that was all very good. That bit where they're going through. Oh, actually, yeah, okay, we'll do it like this. That bit where they're going through the lofts. That
Yeah.
was weird. Like, why did the dad, or why, whatever his name is, what's the guy's name? What's the dad's or the husband's name?
What's his name? I can't remember.
Lee? Is it Lee?
No, it's not Lee.
But anyway, very lucky he just happened to park 5 doors down, isn't it?
Yeah, convenient, isn't it?
um,
I like the did you notice the Ninth Doctor callback when they're up in the loft bit?
oh no, tell me.
The resonating concrete.
Why is that a ninth Doctor thing?
Because in the Doctor dances, when Rose dances with him and he says, Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Oh yeah, I didn't pick up on that at
Did you
all,
not? Oh,
No.
disappointed.
Pretty good callback. Oh, nice. Look at you watching
Yeah.
it. See, that's what happens when you watch it twice, you see. You pick up on the things like this.
Very true.
Yeah, so you sort of cut me off. Well, you sort of stopped me in my tracks a little bit there because I was going to say with the whole resonating
Did I?
concrete thing, yeah, I was going to say, what do you think of the new supersonic screwdriver? But fair enough, the
Oh.
concrete resonation thing is tried and tested. However, what about, let's start with it can make a screen in the sky. Let's start with that, shall we?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan. The first time he uses it is when he's sitting in the down the bottom of the spaceship bit, in that whatever you call that sort of quarry place.
Yeah.
And he makes a little screen, a little Marvel touch screen, doesn't he? And
Yeah,
he's
Marvel
looking up
touchscreen,
stuff on
exactly.
there. Very Disney again. But yeah, I don't know why that's suddenly a thing. It's never been a thing on the Sonic screwdriver. So not a massive fan of that. I think it's making the screwdriver more than it needs to be. I don't know. I mean, I've seen it twice and I can't really remember what he benefits from looking at that
No,
screen. Does he?
exactly. He gets it all explained to him by Ruth Meadley anyway. Um,
Yeah,
it's Iron Man, isn't it? That's what it is.
exactly. Yeah, and then the whole point about when he then uses it again to make those like shields, it's like that's just. I mean, it's obviously part. I mean, I don't know what involvement Disney has, whether they have just streaming rights or anything, whether they're actually involved in the writing with Russell or anything like that. But it very much feels like they are involved heavily now. I
Yeah.
mean, again, it wasn't a bad thing. Like, I don't think it's needed, but it was still pretty cool. Like, pretty cool having those shields and that. But
But it's
yeah,
like
it
I
depends
think
what.
I'd have less of an issue with it if there's a scene of him and he goes like, "Oh my fucking god, look what's the screwdriver doing? It's making a shield. Like, how have I done this? Do you know what I mean? Like he just
Yeah,
knows how to do it now. We never see him build or get the new sonic screwdriver. We never see him
mm,
working out how to use it does feel like a real reboot, doesn't it? Like it does not feel
it
like a
is a full-on reboot.
continuation of Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, it very much feels like this is a start, and you can tell that because I was very much expecting that with Disney because obviously I've not even looked on Disney Plus because I don't need to watch it on Disney, but apparently it will now show us like season one. I don't know what they're showing for the specials, but even on BBC iPlayer, I went to watch this back, and you type in Doctor Who, you can't actually find this on the proper Doctor Who page.
Yeah,
You
I
have to
was
now
gonna
go
say
onto
the
Doctor
same.
Who
Yeah, yeah.
2023 onwards bracket, and it's like, why have you separated it? It's still Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, exactly. The BBC Doctor only goes up to series 13 now. And I was like, shit, where's
Mm,
the special? Like, fucking hell, I can't. Is it not on BBC iPlayer yet? I watched it on like the following Sunday morning. It's like, fuck, is it not
yeah.
on it yet? And then no, it's like, it's got its own section even on iPlayer. And I'm a bit like, oh, I don't know
Mm.
about all this. But yeah, that screwdriver, fucking hell, what an absolute nonsense. Like,
Yeah, like you say, it would have been nice for him to go, oh, wow, look, I've had a bit of an upgrade with my screwdriver. That's pretty cool. But yeah, he just knows how to do it. But then the issue with that is as well is, Doctor Who isn't just the episodes you see. The Doctor goes on adventures on his own. We don't know how long he's been David Tennant for. He could have, we saw the little cameo he had on Children in Need. There was a short little script, I think, written straight after he regenerated. Can't remember what he did in that. But yeah, it's not as if it rolls directly into it. So,
But in
obviously
this,
we only see that side of it.
but in this episode, he says, "I regenerated. I got my old face back, and then I immediately landed in front of Donna. Like this is fate." Like he says that it's a chain of events. I just think, I don't
Yeah.
know. It is very Disney. I don't know if it's Disney's involvement or if it's just the fact that the Marvel movies have been so big for so long. Whether Disney was
Mm.
involved or not, maybe it was inevitable that Doctor Who would start getting some traits of it. Do you know what I mean? Because from what we hear, there is no Disney involvement. It is just streaming rights. So let's not
Yeah.
blame it on Disney having control, but I do think it's got a real Disney influence on it, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe like you say, it's just the influence of the MCU has done so well. Why not just take the best little bits from the MCU and try and implement it into Doctor Who?
Yeah,
Which, yeah, it might
exactly.
work, but I think for hardcore Who fans, I don't think they'll take it as well as they're trying to reach a new audience at the end of the day, and they will get that, especially globally in America and stuff. But yeah, I think you've still got. But then, if you look at the overall as a whole, you still got all the old nod backs that we wanted. The little theme tunes going back from Murray
Yes,
Gold.
yes.
So maybe they're just trying to keep the old happy and get new people in. Maybe it'll work.
Maybe it will.
Mm.
Speaking of callbacks, we probably should have mentioned it earlier. What did you think of the whole reveal that the toys that Rose has been making were of the aliens that Donna has come across?
I liked it, but I would have liked to have probably. I mean, I have seen it twice now, but I've not actually. I didn't pick up on it when you first see them. When Donna goes into the shed,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think
yeah,
she
yeah.
does. You can probably see a couple of them in the background. I've not looked to see if any of those look like
Feud or whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
Feud or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I liked that. The only one I got a bit confused about, one of the toys actually looked like like the dog from the Jodie Whittaker episode.
Yeah, I thought the same
I
thing. It
couldn't
was
work
very
out who that
strange, right?
was
No, I
because
couldn't.
that
And
wouldn't
then
have
one
been a
of them's a
monster that Donna
devil
would
as
have
well,
seen.
I'm sure.
Well, the devil was there a devil? No, because that would have been Rose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure there was something with horns. But yeah, I didn't pick up on the dog thing at all. Yeah, it looked like Chewbacca. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, and I
Obviously,
couldn't work out who that would have been that Donna would have met.
we haven't got to the rewatch of the Donna series yet, so we'll have to keep an eye out for it. I loved the shed being the
Mm.
TARDIS callback as well. When she first went into the shed, I thought for sure Wilf was going to be in there. I can't believe Wilf wasn't in this episode.
I was actually fuming. I mean, I loved it when they mentioned him. The scene where where they say, "Oh, he's not with us anymore," and the Doctor looks really sad, and he's like, "I love that man," and like he's really
Yeah,
sad. I
yeah.
thought, and then they go, "He's not dead, you idiot." That was brilliant. I actually loved it. But the only
I
thing that could have made it better is to actually see Wilf, and we didn't
I
get to.
know, I know. Come on. I genuinely thought they were going to have killed him off because, like, we've all seen the
Yeah,
photo of David Tennant wheeling him around in a wheelchair. We're just
yeah.
assuming that's been part of filming. Maybe he just wanted to come back down to the set for a day. We don't know for sure he's in this.
No, he is definitely in it because in the Doctor Who Unleashed, he's at the reading of the script.
Ah, yes, I love
He is
that.
definitely in it, and people are saying that he'll be in the other specials, but it kind of felt like if he was going to be in any of them, it was going to be this one
I
because I was
reckon at the
pretty
end,
sure. What, the end of the three specials?
yeah, I reckon right at the end, Donna and the Doctor have gone off on adventure now. They'll carry on that adventure for most of episode 3. And then when everything's sorted, he'll be like, right, now I can finally go and have a cup of tea with Wilf or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe, but then at the same time, I feel like I'm worried because when they filmed it, I reckon he had a proper part in it, and then obviously he died quite suddenly, sadly. And whether they were able to film enough to actually have him part of it or change the scripts, they wouldn't have known.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
I don't know. I really don't know because I'm pretty sure there was a bit of leaked. This is another thing that kind of frustrated me a bit about this episode. The leaked filming that I'd obviously seen was that first scene where he meets Donna, and I'm sure I saw something about him wheeling him around in the wheelchair then.
Uh,
Um, so I really did expect him to be in this episode. And that leads me on. I mean, I don't know if you had anything else you were
No,
going to
no,
mention
no.
there, but
Oh, I just wanted to
linked to
mention.
that.
I just want to mention. Shout out with those toys to Dubai. Big up.
Yeah, yeah, sending them out to Dubai. They send them to you. Is that what it
It
is?
is just me. It's just me that's buying Doctor Who toys and is being shipped out. Exactly.
Yeah, that was brilliant. To be fair, but yeah, just going back to, I felt like a lot of this episode, and it frustrates me about this episode, but then excites me for the others because I felt like a lot of the scenes we'd seen, like, had been leaked and was in the promo. Like, I sort of the solid first half hour, I felt like I already knew that all of that was going to happen,
Yeah,
which did
fair enough.
frustrate me a bit. But then I feel like now that we've seen all of that, I don't have a clue what's really gonna, apart from the scene of the TARDIS going up to the unit building and the little bits that we've seen of the toy maker. I don't really know what else is going to happen in these next two specials, which is exciting. But I did kind of feel frustrated that I'd seen a lot of this episode already.
Yeah, it's sort of. It felt like we were retreading old ground. Do you know what I mean? Like it felt like
Mm.
just get on with it. Like I know you hate it when we bring it up, but there was the Star Wars Ahsoka series, and the first
Oh,
two episodes. No, I know, but the first two episodes of that series were getting them to the point where we left them in Rebels, and it was like, well, okay, what really was the point of
right.
that? And I do agree. I have a question for you though: did on a second watch, did Donna feel like a main character to you?
If anything, she probably felt like the main character.
Do you
If
reckon? See,
anything,
I, I just, again, I haven't watched it a second time, but I felt like she was a bit nothing in it. Like, I thought Sylvia stood out more than Donna did, to be fair.
it's difficult because at the end of the day, she wasn't meant to understand or know anything about the Doctor, so she would feel like a bit of a bit part character. But then when you rewatch it, it doesn't feel like you learn anything about the 14th Doctor, so you've not really benefited there. The whole story revolves around Donna. It's all about Donna, the Doctor Donna, and if anything, probably Rose as well, because Rose gets that bit at the end where she's part of the Meta Crisis and she's involved. But yeah, I think Donna did still feel like quite a main character in that
Okay,
because it
fair
all
enough.
revolves around her. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. All right. What did you think of
What else we got?
Ruth Meadley?
Oh,
Oh no.
it's difficult. I don't know. She didn't really. That was another thing that I kind of felt wasn't needed. I mean, you might not have picked up on it. I only picked it up at the second time watching, but the bit where they say they're going to investigate the spaceship and she can't go because there's stairs and she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And they like apologize for it, and I was like, that again just feels a little bit forced. But
Yeah,
it's
I
great
was.
having like that disability involvement and that, and I love. And there's never been anything wrong with like disability characters and everything, but I feel like they're highlighting it for the sake of highlighting it and to add it to the story. I did like her
Yeah,
character, and I love the cool little like shooting things out of the chair and stuff. But
that felt a bit Johnny English to me. That felt a bit
that's
like
true. It
a
was
bit
very Johnny English
childing.
actually.
Yeah, I saw BBC posted on Instagram like the new TARDIS, and for whatever reason, her comment was at the top, and it was, "Yay,
Right.
a TARDIS full of ramps, not a stair in sight. I love this." And like, yeah, fair enough. Okay, it
Yeah,
is
yeah. I
good,
didn't pick
but
up on that.
is it too much? But also, I have a real question about her. There's one point, I think it's when she's first meeting the doctor and they're doing their screen bit and everything, and then the doctor leaves. She crosses her legs.
Does she?
Yeah, watch it back. She crosses her legs.
What does that mean though? What's the?
Well, is she really disabled?
Um,
Like, shit, you know,
I
I
guess
even
you can.
paused it and went to Laura. I was like, she just, and Laura went like, yeah, she just crossed her legs. Like, just as if she's
Really?
casually sitting
Okay.
down. Yeah, you'll have to rewatch it. I'll post it on the Instagram because I was like, fuck, she's not even. And then I genuinely thought when the Donna's family are leaving, Sylvia, Rose, and the other guy, they come out at the
Yeah.
lift and Sylvia's there. I was like, shit, is she the bad guy? Like, I genuinely thought she was going to be bad. And then I was like, fucking Russell, you're a hypocrite, man. What are you doing? Davros can't be disabled, but she could be an evil villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she wasn't. She was
Yeah.
good.
No.
I thought she
The
was
other
an all
thing as
right
well,
character.
she was an alright character, but at the same time, I don't really know where she fits in because she mentions these unit scientific advisor number 60, whatever, and that's great. But what does that actually mean? Because we know that Kate Lethbridge Stewart is still running unit. So what actually is she?
Yeah, I
Like, why
get.
is she a relevant character, sort of thing?
Yeah, there's a few examples like this. It's like, just make this Kate. We don't need to see a new character.
Yeah,
Just have this be Kate. If a spaceship crash landed in London, Kate Lethbridge Stewart is going to be the first one on the scene. What, she's just in an office pushing papers and stuff? I don't know. Like, just don't
exactly.
overcomplicate
Where is
it.
she?
Just
We know
make it
she's in the
Kate.
special, so why is she not here?
Yeah, for real. Like, come on. Why are you bullshitting us
Mm.
with this new character? Just have that be Kate.
Yeah, bit of a strange one.
So then you've got the brainwashed soldiers. Again, that was a bit, like, do we need this? It felt a bit Marvel again, to be fair, with the eyes and the
What, like Winter Soldier esque? You think?
like Winter Soldier, or more like what's the one where Black Widow goes round and possesses them?
Oh, or Loki. To be fair, Loki does it with his
Oh
scepter.
yeah, with Hawkeye. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Felt very
Yeah.
Marvel again. So I thought that was a bit nothingness.
But then at the same time, I mean, obviously we don't know the details behind it, but when Russell was writing this, he would have wrote that in. Did he know that Disney were involved back then? Is it just convenience
Yeah,
that we're
that's the
linking
other
all of this to
thing.
Marvel?
Yeah, exactly. Like Disney wouldn't have been involved, presumably. I don't know. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, to be fair.
Interesting.
I didn't jive. I don't know. It didn't feel like 2008 for me for some reason. It felt like
Really?
something was missing. Yeah, there was the little bit when the wall is coming down and there's the Dr. Donna. That felt a bit Doctor Who for me, but it's for like 30 seconds and then it's gone. I don't think Donna felt very Donna to me. I think she felt a bit like a shell of a woman.
No, I disagree with that. I think the whole thing felt like even from the start when he meets her straight away and you hear the theme tune, the little do.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like, that throws it back. And then you get to the bit where he is outside the door and he meets Sylvia and he gets in and then she turns
That was
around and
good.
slaps him
That
and
was
he's
good.
like, here we go again. That threw it back. There was a lot of throwbacks and I think it did really feel like the old Dr. Donna back and they're such a good little duo. I think they do work really well and it just did feel like old Who again.
But again,
Um,
that bit at the beginning with the boxes, we haven't even spoken about the start of this episode. But
mm,
like, come on, what are the fucking odds? One, what is she carrying in all those boxes? Two, what are the chart? Why does the doctor help this random person carrying
yeah.
boxes? And then there's the whole bit, Rose, what? Rose, what? Like, why? Just leave, Doctor. You don't want her to remember you. Just leave. And also,
Yeah.
why would Donna call her child Rose? She met her
No,
once
no,
in a
well, no, she
parallel
doesn't. She doesn't,
universe.
does she? She doesn't call her Rose. She that's mentioned later on because obviously when Rose is a child, she's obviously Jason, as it's had mentioned. And then when she then obviously changes to a female, she chooses the name herself, Rose,
Ah, right.
um,
Okay.
which is the meta crisis feeding through.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's why she picks Rose. But also just mention the dad. Just remember the dad's name, and it's Sean because he also shouts Rose, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's like, what is going on? Are you not supposed to be
Yeah,
an
and he's like, and then
on-duty
again, he's like,
taxi
what,
driver?
what? Yeah, but I saw that as well. Like, I saw another video on that saying like, why is he reacting like that to hearing Rose when he knows she's in a parallel universe?
It's not
knows he's
even
not
that.
going
It's
to meet
like there
her.
are other people called Rose, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. You could be on another planet and hear someone called Rose. You're gonna go, oh my god, it's Rose Tyler.
I don't know. Right. Okay. Let's speak about Tennant then. I thought he was very good. I do not think he was anything like the 10th Doctor whatsoever. There's the one bit where he says Alonzi as he gets in the cab, and then that
Yeah.
was it for me. I thought he was playing a completely different character.
Do you think? See, I wasn't sure about this. I'm a bit 50-50 because of everything about him still feels like the 10th Doctor. I can't I can't specifically think of anything he did that made me say, "Oh, he's not acting like the 10th Doctor." That's the only thing that I just can't
He seemed a
can't
lot
decide.
more like, obviously he's 10 years older than we last saw him and 15 years older than he was the 10th Doctor. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, he's
he
been three
he
different Doctors since then, so he's going to have different experiences, and he's a different person.
yeah, he definitely
But,
feels more mature. I am convinced
mm,
he's doing a slightly posher accent. Like, I'm just convinced of it. The voice isn't bang on. And I don't know if he's just older, his voice has changed a little bit, or if it's an active decision. But I think you can see he's a lot more composed. He's a lot more, he's less of the action hero and he's more sort of, I
Yeah.
don't know, just more passive, I think I would call it.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, there's still a lot of running involved. You know, the whole thing about the 10th Doctor was he was running all the time, and there is still a lot involved. But yeah, I think he is also still that. He's got a bit of maturity about him, and about the voice as well. Funny enough, they also mentioned that in Doctor Who Unleashed,
Oh,
because they talk about the backstory on how this happened, like how Russell T Davies brought David and Catherine Tate back, and apparently when he told Georgia, his wife, about it. She turned around to him and went, "Can you still do the voice? Like, can you still do that? Do you remember?" And obviously, he's still trying to do that same voice. So, yeah, he might have changed it a little bit, or maybe he just hasn't quite got it back yet. But I thought he's brilliant anyway. He was unreal.
Yeah, no, he was good. I thought it was interesting that he wasn't like, you can really tell he's not playing the 10th Doctor. Like, he's definitely the 14th Doctor.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you reckon we're going to get answers on one, why his face is back? Because technically that's the Dr. Donna thing wrapped up now, presumably. Two,
Yeah.
why his clothes have changed for the first time. Three, why the screwdriver has changed for the first time. Like, it's just happened. Do you think any of this is going to be answered, or do you think it's all going to be waved away?
I actually feel like we've got answers for a couple of those already. Actually,
Okay, go on.
I mean the change back to the old face, I think, is going to be part of the storyline with the toy maker. I
Okay.
think he will be involved in that. But then it's weird because he wasn't involved in this episode. I feel like that would have been addressed pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then something controversial to go against that is the fact that, again, I'm quite glad I actually watched this morning because a lot's come up.
Fucking hell, we
but in
can't
Doctor-
tell you've watched it. Jesus Christ, every other answer
I
is, well,
know.
actually, I watched Doctor Who Unleashed and they explained it in that. Like, fucking, we get it, mate. Jesus.
No, but they are, again, Russell T Davies mentions it and he says, oh, there's no rules. Like, you can go back and visit an old face. Like, there's no rules against it. So maybe it is just a thing that Time Lords can get an old face back. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. They do that with
maybe.
Peter Capaldi. Like, that's a whole story arc in it, is that he chose the face of Kai Kilius
Yeah,
or whoever
exactly.
it was. But
Yeah, from the Fires
what's
of
his
Pompeii.
reason? But we haven't got his reason for it yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, and what about the
He's
clothes
a great
thing?
doctor.
Well, yeah, but
The clothes thing has already been addressed. That's actually happened once before.
was it in
I
Doctor Who
don't know why it
Unleashed by any
happened.
chance?
No, it happened in Classic Who. I can't remember why, but the reason it happened this time is because they didn't want him wearing women's clothes.
Yeah, but there needs to be an in-universe explanation for it, surely.
No, they won't. They will just that is what it is. They won't mention
That'll
that. I
upset
don't think.
me. That'll upset me, especially the fact
Are
that
you
we
really that
see.
bothered?
I am that bothered, especially the fact that we're going to see Shooty wearing this doctor's clothes. Like, no, that's not fair. Stick to your guns, Russell. What are you playing at? But whilst we're talking about clothing, he's got new spectacles, and I fucking love them, to be fair.
I was waiting for this to come up. Yeah, they do look pretty cool, to be fair.
I love them. A little bit of turtle shell. Yeah, I think I've had a pair of glasses like that, you know?
Yeah, you definitely did at one point with the lot sort of roundish lenses and the turtle shell design. You did have those.
Absolutely love it. And he's using it short-sighted.
Got to love a
Let's
big
just
coat,
call
though,
it
haven't
that.
you, as well?
I don't like his coat. It's too skinny.
What?
It's too small.
What do you mean it's too skinny?
It's too small. If you look back at his big brown coat, it's much bigger and it flows with the wind more. This feels like it's too snug on him.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit sort of too stiff. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Exactly. Yeah. Like it. Like his whole outfit.
I love that. I love that little line actually, where Donna says, before she's even realised who he is, she says, "Oh, you can wear a tight suit up to the age of 35 and over, but no further." That's quite good.
I love that. I wonder if
comedic.
Was he 35 when he stopped being the Doctor, presumably?
I think so. Yeah.
Has to be something like that, doesn't it? Yeah, because that was. I did laugh at that. I was like, oh yeah, that's true as well. I can't fit in a slim fit suit anymore. I have to get tailored now.
You're only 25, mate.
Started the gym. Yeah, I don't know. As a whole, mate, I think it was a good episode. I think I don't know, man. I don't know if it was the comeback that we needed.
I think it was the overall comeback story to explain it all. I think a lot of pressure is now on these next two episodes to deliver. I think they will, because I think they're going to be big stories. But I am excited to see what happens next. But yeah, it's going to rely on these last couple of specials.
If this had come out on its own, as this was like the only special, How would you feel?
I'd be massively disappointed because
Yeah.
it's not a standalone. Think back to the 50th anniversary. We got a great storyline of the War Doctor and the whole explanation around that. We got David Tennant, Matt Smith, John Hurt as well. That's a massive bit of casting. Obviously,
Mm.
Rose came back then, not as Rose. But yeah, that was a massive storyline and massive episode. So yeah, it needs to be that sort of scale for the next two for me.
That's a very good point. I hadn't even thought about comparing it to the 50th, but this isn't a breath on the 50th. This is like a mile
Yeah,
away from that. So yeah, there's a
this
lot
is
of
just a
pressure
normal
to
Doctor Who
bring it up.
episode.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a mid episode of Doctor Who. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it was a brilliant one.
But to be fair to them, that is exactly how they described it the other day. Russell T Davidson, David Tennant did that interview, and they said first episode is just a really good Doctor Who Adventures episode, and then episode 2 is out of this world, and episode 3 is just incredible. So
Yeah,
that's
fair
why I'm
enough.
expecting big things.
Just before we talk about the next time, then, the TARDIS, new TARDIS.
Yeah, new TARDIS. I really like it. I think it's a nod to the classic. I actually also saw a picture as well I saw a picture of David Tennant's 10th Doctor's TARDIS and this TARDIS alongside it.
Yeah.
And then underneath it had a picture of the Sillick Bang Man because basically it just looks like a clean version. And it literally does, like a different centerpiece, center console. But yeah, I think it looks great. I think I'm not a fan of the coffee machine. I think that was written in just for that end story bit, but
Yeah,
that
exactly,
was a bit
exactly.
pointless. But yeah, the interior looks stunning. I think it looks great, and I love that little bit where they're looking at each other, and I can't remember what he says, but then she goes, "It's gorgeous," and then they like sort of start dancing. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I quite like it. It looks a little bit empty, so I wonder if there's going to be a slight redesign when Shooty takes over. Like there, I don't know. It feels like it's missing something. Do you know what I mean?
It felt a bit too big, if anything. I don't feel like because at the end of the day, um, most of the TARDIS scenes just feature around the center console, really. So it kind of feels like you don't. There's a long like walkway up to that. I feel
Yeah. Well,
from the door, but
back when it was the 10th Doctor's like TARDIS, it was a set, so you would only build like two walls, and you'd film it from the walls that were then open. But then when Matt
yeah,
Smith and Peter Capaldi took over, they built the entire 360 set so the camera could go in and follow around. So maybe it's just because we haven't seen David Tennant in a fully built TARDIS. It's always
yeah.
been like a half built set. But yeah, I don't know. I think it will probably, I hope it's redesigned for Shooting because it just feels empty. I hope it gets a little bit more cluttered. Maybe they throw in some color or something. But yeah, perfectly fine, I thought.
Something to mention actually. I don't know if you've picked up. I mean, I didn't even pick up it on the second time of watching. So whether someone's telling the truth or just making up a bit, but apparently in the episode you hear the 11th and 12th Doctor's theme.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I actually saying that, I
Which
think I did recognize hearing Peter Capaldi's theme. Yeah.
did you? Which does make me think, along with the design of the sonic screwdriver, I do feel like there's got to be more than one Doctor in these specials.
Oh, mate, you know, I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
want to get hyped for it. I don't want to expect it.
I mean, I genuinely, I don't know because that felt like such a mid episode, as we said. I don't know if throwing the doctors I don't know how it would work. I don't know. It wouldn't feel right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like these specials are going to be different. It's going to be a whole new story. And I've heard so many rumors. Like I've heard rumors of multiple Doctors. I've heard rumors of River Song. I've heard rumors of Amy Pond. Like I've heard loads of rumors about who's coming back for this. So I'm expecting big things. Like I just
I don't know, man. I
the other
don't
thing as
know.
well. The other thing as well I've noticed, and it's actually again a thing that Marvel do a lot, and Russell T Davies to start doing it in, is in his trailers. He's specifically editing bits out. There is something edited from a scene in the upcoming special of someone on the roof of the unit building.
Okay.
I've seen that.
Okay.
He in this special itself, he actually edited. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he edited. Maybe it's just a slight clip from before they all get in. But in the taxi, in the picture, it's only David Tennant and Beat the Meep. There's no one else in that taxi. So why he edited that out, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like he's going to purpose, and also the whole thing about Shooty's scene. The background is different because apparently
Yeah.
where he is in the actual background gives too much away. So where's that? Like the only place I could think that's recognizable is going to be Gallifrey. unless it's the TARDIS interior and he didn't want anyone to see it too early.
Yeah, no,
I don't
I
know.
mean, I think the TARDIS interior makes the most sense. But yeah, mate, I really genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's mad. And I have to say, I can't remember the exact point, but there was a moment watching this episode, and I was like, fuck, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, David Tennant is back as the Doctor, and I don't know what's going to happen. Like, it was a
Yeah.
really surreal feeling, like gassed about Doctor Who again. Literally, it's been 6 years since we've been fucking having these conversations. Do you know what I mean? And you weren't even that
Yeah.
interested when it was Peter Capaldi either. So this is like the first time we've ever really been excited about theorizing about what's to come in Who. Do you know? Like, yeah, madness.
Yeah, I mean, personally dropped off sort of midway through Matt Smith's series. Obviously, then you were really on the Peter Capaldi series, so I watched all of those. I think I watched probably the first time I watched Doctor Who live again. Between that was probably Peter Capaldi's Regeneration episode, probably, and
Yeah,
then obviously
yeah.
watched all of Jodie's ones, which was a massive mistake. Um, um, yeah, and now we're back, and Doctor Who's back. David Tennant's back. It's Russell T Davies is back. Murray Gold's back. It's brilliant. I'm buzzing.
Yeah, no, quite excited to be fair. Quite excited. See what's to come. Excited for the future episodes.
Mm.
Should we talk about the next time trailer? Because I could not make any sense of it whatsoever. I watched it and I was like, have I watched anything? I don't understand. It didn't reveal anything.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think there was a next time trailer.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't do one, do they?
I think it's on YouTube. Yeah, yeah, I think it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Maybe I mean, I saw a tiny little clip of the next bit where they turn up on the spaceship, but I've not seen a proper next time trailer. What actually happens?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It's apparently it's a
Oh,
horror. It's a horror episode. Um,
yeah, I've heard that.
which I think is long overdue. Love it when Doctor Who's scary. And when was the last time we had a fucking scary episode of Doctor Who?
Yeah, because I think RTD also described it. He said that this isn't a kids episode. It's not a kids show. So it's obviously going to be pretty good, pretty serious. But yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect
No,
really
nor do
from
I,
what I've
mate.
seen.
Nor do I. But I'm excited for it. I hope to God 2 and 3 are two-parters.
I'm expecting them to be. I don't think they're going to be directly two-parters, but I'm expecting them to be linked because I'm pretty sure I've heard Russell describe Neil Patrick Harris's character that he comes back in the third one. So if he's coming back, that means he must be on another one. He's not been in the first, so he has to be in the second, really, in my eyes.
Unless he means the Celestial Toymaker is coming back from the classic series.
No, it sounded very much like as if he comes back from another special.
I
But
hope so.
yeah,
I hope so
we'll have to wait
because
and
yeah,
see.
that was lackluster. It's missing, like you said, it's missing Day of the Doctor, grand, exciting. Like even the Doctor Donna thing, that was such a huge thing back in the day. It was heartbreaking, and it's just resolved. Like it
Mm,
didn't feel big at all. It's literally they just regenerate and shake it off. I was really disappointed with that. Like that really left a
yeah.
sour taste in a mid episode. Yeah, I don't know. Out of 10, we normally do love it or hate it. I think we both would err on the side of loving it. But out of 10, what do you reckon?
Out of 10, I'd probably give it. I don't think I can give it any higher than an 8, if I'm honest. I would
An
probably give it an 8
eight?
out of 10. I don't think I'd give it an 8 out of 10, but I would probably lean to more like 7.5.
Jesus, I'd say that's well high. I'm thinking it's just about better than average, to be fair.
Really? So you're going to say like 5, 6?
I'm gonna go 6, I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. I need to rewatch it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing
Maybe
is, at the
blinded
end
by
of the day,
nostalgia.
yeah, it had the nostalgia, it had David Tennant and Donna. Um, the way that I see it is it's probably the best episode of Doctor Who we've had in the last 6 years since Jodie took over. Nothing against
Uh,
Jodie, but the writing was against it. I can't think of a better episode she had. But again, it probably was just because of the nostalgia of having the Doctor and Donna back. Other than that, not a lot really happened.
yeah, I think that's probably fair. I think that's probably fair. But anyway,
But I think it's just an episode that needed to happen.
I don't know. Did it need to happen though? Surely to
Well,
give
yeah,
us
because you have
something
to
more
explain
grand.
the whole issue, don't you?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel a bit lackluster. I'm anxious. I'm genuinely anxious going into the next episode. I don't want to come out on the 9th of December and say, wow, that was just 3 okay episodes of Doctor Who.
I
I'll
don't think
be
that'll happen though.
I don't know,
But this is
man.
what worries me. There's a lot of pressure on it because I'm expecting big things from these next two.
Well, let's hope not to be disappointed. Excited to be doing this as well. This is cool. I like this. We need to get on it on a Sunday. We need this to come out on a Sunday.
You want it to come out on a Sunday?
Yeah,
but the thing is, you don't even get to watch it until a Sunday morning.
Yeah, but it's fine because I'm 4 hours ahead of you, so it works.
Okay, I think we need to record this on a Sunday morning. Then we need to do this on Sunday mornings at say like 9:30 my time or 9 my time.
Yeah, that's perfect for me.
So it's going to be like 1 p.m. your time. Does that work?
Yeah, that's perfect for me because I can come home, do this, and then go out for lunch and go out for dinner and stuff. So that is perfect. It's as soon as you wake up, it's fresh in your mind. I'd have watched it that morning.
Yeah.
And then we get it out Sunday evening. Bosh. Done.
Bosh. Quality.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Let us know if you prefer this over the ones with JP because we will happily boot him off. Don't even worry about it.
I think this is going to be our best one yet, personally. Nothing against JP. Love JP. But it's the new Who, you know. It's new Who.
No, I certainly hope so. And if you are listening to this because you just wanted to hear the new episode review, go back and listen to our old episodes. We're doing a watch through at the minute. You'll probably quite like it.
Yeah, why not?
But as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for engaging. Like, comment, subscribe, drop us a follow, drop us a rate, etc., etc. Anything else, Bradley Fuller?
No, thanks for listening. Hope everyone enjoyed it as much as, well, I did. Maybe not Josh, but yeah, thanks for listening. Let us know your thoughts on the Star Beast. Are you as buzzing as we are for the Doctor and Donna to be back? And we'll see you next week for the next anniversary special.
See you next week. Adios, amigos.